Hi, Nachtigala. Once again, filming for episode 10 of Asexuality in Film. This time, I'm talking about James Sweeney's Straight Up. I'm on a roll. You're gonna see this in later part, but I'm shooting this in a row, basically. So, Straight Up is a 2019-2020 movie starring James Sweeney as Todd, Preston Keller, and Katie Findlay as Rory. It's a story about sexual confusion in many ways. So, like, Todd has always been assumed to be gay. He's very effeminate. His favorite movie is Legally Blonde. He loves Gilmore Girls. Now, there's also a bunch of other stereotypical things that he does that are gay, except for the fact that he does not like gay sex. He hasn't had gay sex. Closest he's come to is pro consultation. It's basically like he's a effeminate person, so basically he got bullied with slurs from a young age, and his friends, his very small group of friends is like gay and stuff like that. So he just basically goes along with it. He tries to date men. It doesn't really go well, but he tries. So at this point in his life, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to date women. It's not like I've ever really disliked women. I like them. They are pretty and soft and stuff, like all good things. So why shouldn't I try to date women? So he goes on in the bar, tries to talk about a girl. She invites her gay friend. Then he tries to talk to another girl who's just turned 18 and is drunk. And they try to have sex and it's a disaster. So it's not going well. Like, this is a very screwball rom-commy movie. But then he's arranging things at the library where he does not work at, and he meets Rory. And then they start bonding over Gilmore Girls. They have the same shipping opinions that I disagree with. But it's somewhat awkward, but they still have a really good rapport going right from the beginning. And then they have like a 8-hour discussion date. They just talk about everything. And at the end of it, Todd asks if he can hold Rory's hand, and they do, and it's all very nice and romantic. And straight at the beginning, once he expresses that he likes Gilmore Girls, he's like, that doesn't mean I'm gay. Like, don't label me. And she's like, okay, I won't. So, like, about 30 minutes in the movie, they share a romantic kiss, and Todd asks Rory to be his girlfriend. Apparently, they've known about 3 months at that point. Or they have known 3 months when they go to this party, to this birthday party. That's a costume party, and they dress up as the couple from Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, which I have not seen the play or the movie or know even the plot, but apparently the plot of the movie is Elizabeth Taylor is with Paul Newman's character, but Paul Newman's character is gay. So that's like, I'm gonna use ironic, even though I don't know if I'm using it correctly, but the movie really goes into the discussion of ironic and how it should be used or not. But I'm gonna use it because it seems ironic that they're in a situation where everybody, like most of the people in Todd's life, are still very much like viewing is like he's gay, and there's like a lot of very complicated biphobia going on all the time. But it's like, okay, bisexual people are real. You might be bisexual or you might not be bisexual. Like, there's varying opinions. But it's like, it's really frustrating because, like, so anyway, I got sidetracked. So anyway, they go to this party. They are apparently dressed as a beard couple accidentally, even though they both just like the movie. And then they discussion of sex comes up. Like they have apparently been dating at 6 months at this point, or at later point. I'm not sure. But anyway, so they have been dating for 6 months and they have not had sex. Neither one of them has even tried to have sex. Like Rory, it's implied that she has some experience with sexual assault that makes her not want to have sex, but still she suddenly feels like, okay, my boyfriend is someone who everybody thinks is gay, and apparently he's identified as gay at some point, and we are not having sex, so like, what is it? So like, we has to have sex, and then they try to have sex, and it's Rory gets triggered, and like Todd handles this very well, but then they start discussion that like okay, neither one of us actually wants to have sex, but we are happy in this relationship, so why ruin our relationship with sex? And then they just go along with it. They start accepting that, okay, this is our relationship. It doesn't like, why does it matter anyone to, why does anyone even have to know that we are not having sex? Like, we are a happy couple, otherwise, mostly happy couple otherwise. So they start to continue their sexless romantic relationship. And now I have lots of notes of this movie. And I think that's something that's interesting about this movie. Like, Todd has OCD diagnosed, probably something else going on, and so he goes to therapy. I'm just gonna use therapy as a catch-all term for that, because I know there are nuances. So he goes, and everybody talks about Kinsey scale a lot. Like, that's a very common thing that people always talk about. Like, it's one thing if the therapist, because like the therapist is all like, but you seem like a Kinsey, it's this and that, and like her, like, but even his gay friend is like, you're Kinsey 6, why are you trying to be bi? And so like the Kinsey scale and where Todd fits in that scale is brought up constantly. Oh, and the therapist is played by Tracy Thoms, who I've loved since I saw her in Wonderful, so it's very nice to see her pop up. Also, when it came to when he started like talking with this therapist that he's gonna like try to be straight or try to date women, like a lot of the discussion is very binary, and there's like lots of discussions, like a lot of things has to do with like are very stereotypical, like, oh, that must be gay because he likes these stereotypical gay things. And when he's like, okay, I'm gonna try to be straight, then he like tries to lower his voice and like, I like beer and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it's messy, but like it's a messy in a very queer way that I like it. I'm not saying that I like it, but it's I'm just talking. I'm gonna have lots of thoughts about this. But back to Tracy Thompson, her therapy character. I loved when he was starting on this process of possibly dating women. Tracy Thompson's therapist said, "What are you even chasing up the wrong tree? Is it sex? Is it love?" I like that because, like, I mean, the idea, like, she's mostly convinced that he's gay, so why is he trying to date women? But that replies that I know what I don't want. I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life, and that's why he's opening his dating pool. And like, it's really interesting because like Rory and Todd is a very well written romantic story. Like, I do think they have a very good romantic relationship. They watch movies to keep their relationship cognitively interesting. I think that was the word that they used. Cognitively stimulating. Like, they got along well, they have a good rapport. So it's a very good romantic relationship, because they both see it as a romantic relationship. it just doesn't contain sex, and somehow that invalidates the whole situation, which is like, it's frustrating, but like, it's weird. It's frustrating and weird, but it's still also like, I know that that's the way people see it. Like, I have so many thoughts that I'm just looking at my notes for a bit, and I found it interesting. Like, it has a lot of interesting say about various different types of things relating to queerness or even relationship in general, because like, when Todd brings Rory to dinner with his parents, played by Randall Park, and I'm sorry, I don't actually know the mother's name, but anyway, like Jane Sweeney, Todd is also mixed race. He's Asian American and white. So like, he brings home Rory and it goes really well, but he's also like feeling like, do we like, oh, I always thought my parents loved me unconditionally, but I think they love me more now, because I brought home a girl. That's a very interesting discussion to have, bring up. Something that I really appreciate about the movie, because I feel like, because like at one point they're at a party, I think it's a Christmas party or something like that, and Todd's friend Meg is like there to give everybody a lap dance, and as she's giving a lap dance to Rory, Meg also starts making out with Rory, and Rory again has a panic attack about this, and like, it's weird. Like, because so many times kissing between women isn't treated as serious in any way. Like, it's not probably cheating. It doesn't mean anything about someone's sexuality, and it's also can't be it's treated as in it can't be harmful. Like, being kissed unconsensually by a woman can still be harmful, whether or not whoever is at the receiving end. And I do appreciate that the movie does make the point that, okay, that was a violation. Like, just because they are two girls doesn't mean there can't be any violation going on. It's not just fun, sexy things. Like, yeah, Rory was having a panic attack because she was being assaulted. Yeah, she was just assaulted by Meg. So I appreciate that the movie actually acknowledges that and treated it as serious as it is. Yeah, movie like, Ryder is Todd's gay friend, one of his two friends, and he is very much against any of Todd's experimentation, and he's very much like, you're making real bi people look bad because you are too gay to actually be bi. And it's really weird because like, at this moment Todd is actually in a functioning romantic relationship with a girl, with a woman. So it's really weird that people keep harping that because there's no sex, it's not real and it's not valid. Like, he's not very valid as a possible bi person or any other sexuality other than gay. Like, he's too stereotypically gay to be anything but gay, even though he's in a happy romantic relationship with a woman. And then Ryder kisses him, mostly against his consent. Like, he responds to somewhat, but he also rejects it, and that's actually the most positive most positive male interaction that Todd has. I'm not framing it well, but like, yeah, in the beginning there's they show a couple of mismeetings. Like, he's like, someone tries to kiss him and he's like very not into it, or someone tries to touch his knee or something, and he throws it. His drink falls apart, or he throws his drink or stuff. Like, he gets freaked out about it, and so this that he somewhat responds to the kiss by Ryder, which is mostly actually unconsensual, is kind of, it's weird, but it's like it's complicated. But I don't think that, but that doesn't prove he's gay. If he, even if he like fully responded to Ryder's kiss willingly. So like, I don't know, the relationship between Rory and Todd is really interesting, and like Rory has her own history of why she didn't want to have sex and why she was fine with the non-sexual relationship, and how they both felt like back rubs is about as good as sex, so they just gave each other back rubs, which is nice. But over time, being in a relationship with Todd also like let her heal her own issues with sex. So then they are decide sometime later they are trying to have sex, but like Todd's still not really into it. And then Todd suggests an open relationship if that's what it takes. He actually also, that seems to be what they end up with, but that's for a tiny bit later. But so basically Rory is starting to become more open to having sex again, while Todd isn't changing on that regard. So he has this whole rant with his therapist about trying to figure out what exactly his identity is. And he goes like, what if I have OCD, fear of being gay while actually being straight? And what if I don't want to be gay because it conflicts with my self-image that given through pop culture, which is heteronormative? Or what if I'm heteroromantic asexual, who is romantically attracted to women and sexually attracted to no one? All of it sounds right, but what if I'm none of the above? So like, Todd has lots of mental health issues, and his OCD affects a lot of things for him. Like, he just can't stand body fluids, which is a very big reason for the lack of sex in his life. Like, this movie isn't about like giving him a straight answer what he is or what he's not, and even though it would benefit him. And I do think that this movie, along with like the Olivia experiment, kind of like says basically being asexual is a lot of it's just accepting that this is who you are, that this is part of you, who you are, part of that this is you, who you are, this is a part of who you are, and this is how you want to identify. Because like, there's not a proper test that you can take to decide that, okay, I'm asexual. And I think that's somewhat of the same situation with being like bisexual or pansexual, of this whole like, okay, based on my experiences and my feelings, this is what I feel like is right for me. But Todd is not in the place in his emotional development, his life, to fully accept any kind of identity at this point. But it would do him better. It would be much happier if he could. But also, things are complicated. Queerness is very complicated. So, because the sexual libido, whatever, disparity is becoming more pronounced between Rory and Todd, Rory decides to move away from LA. She's gonna quit her career. I don't remember if I said that she's an actress. It's not her career isn't working out, and she also doesn't feel like the relationship is going anywhere. And she's lots of her is still worried that someday Todd is going to meet a man that he's gonna fall in love with and leave Rory for him. So she's still not. So she worries about that, and also because they are not having sex, and she's now wants sex. It's not working for Rory, and he's like, we both deserve better. And Todd is like, I don't want more. I'm happy, and but it's not enough. She decides to leave because like their relationship isn't working for her, even if it is working for Todd. And then Todd is back in with a therapist, and the therapist asks that if Rory was a man, would you love her? Like if you met a man with Rory's qualities and all of that, would you still see this man who is like Rory? Would you see him as your soulmate? And he's like, yes, obviously, because like he loves Rory not because Rory is a woman, but because of who Rory is as a person and how Todd feels when he's with Rory. And then the therapist again brings up, oh, that makes you gay, that makes you like a Kinsey 5 gay. And it's like really weird because like wouldn't that be more like very much a bi pan M-spec experience, that it doesn't matter that Rory is a girl, like it's who Rory is, not her gender, that Todd is interested in and what Todd loves. So it's, I don't know, the whole considering a Kinsey Gale is kind of weird. And so Rory has left. She's moved to, I think, Seattle, and everything happens in LA, in California in general. But then Todd decides to make one last effort. Like he hates flying, so he tries 3 days to Seattle, and he tries to, like, I love you, I want to be with you, you are the one that I don't want to lose, you are my best friend. And then he makes a concession that I'm gonna try to learn to eat you out. And lots of other things like, oh, like if you get sick, I want to help you deal with that and stuff like that. It's all very romantic and nice. And then he convinces Rory to come back together because like she's been sad without him too. So they get back together, and then there's a random dude. So it's apparently they possibly trying the open relationship. The Rory does remind Todd that he promised to learn cunnilingus for her. So that's the end of the movie. Like I had a lot of thoughts. This is very long. This one is very long. And this a version of this movie was made by James Sweeney with different cast earlier as Normal Doors. You can see it on Vimeo, though it's age restricted, so you need to sign up. It was nice. You can see the basics of it, about like a gay guy deciding to open up his dating field, and then meeting Rory, and then there's the two possibilities of like, does he tell Rory that he's gay, or does he deny being gay, and what happens. It was nice. I watched it right before I started making this video. It's still there's no asexuality themes because like it's 9 minutes, but you can really see the lot of the thematic stuff in the Normal Doors. And if you like Sliding Doors, the movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, then that short movie is for you. So yeah, I think the this is like there is some sex, so it's not for completely sex repulsed people, but also it's kind of for sex repulsed people, because like Todd is, if anything else, Todd is sex repulsed, whatever his other identities might be. He's sex repulsed, he doesn't want to have sex, he doesn't really get anything out of it, and it might be very just off. Although he makes effort, at least with women, in the few scenes that there are. But yeah, I think this is a very fun movie, and it's very funny, and it's a rom-com, and I think that Todd, despite the possible sexuality conflict. Todd and Rory's relationship is very well developed, and if you like Gilmore Girls and Whedon's type of like quick snappy dialogue, then this I can recommend this for you. I like this a lot, and yeah. Now this is the conclusion of episode 10 of Asexuality in Film. I still have other movies that I hope to talk about, but I need to finish what I need to watch or finish rewatching them in order to do that. But I'm glad I'm just finally done with episode 10. So, bye!